Let's get our affirmation on. Repeat after me. Divine Beloved, I am grateful to be the living Christ. Love flows through me. I open my heart and surrender my mind to be the conduit of good, to be the best Christ self. Love is the power that heals the world. Love is the power that changes the world. And I am grateful to be the power of love. And so it is. Amen and amen. We're excited to be the power of love to change the world. All right, so let's take a moment and let's just take a deep breath in, breathing any chaos or anything that happened this morning, breathing it in, and on the exhale, letting it go and it dissipating into nothingness. And then let's take a deep breath in, going to soul center, tapping into the light that resides there. The light of Christ, our divinity. And on the exhale, allow that light to penetrate every cell and fiber of your being, bringing wholeness and restored health and going out into the world. And let's take another deep breath in, tapping into the energy of love, mingling with the Christ light, knowing that they exist together. And on the expanse, allowing that love and that light to continue to flow through your body and into your mind, removing all negativity that might remain, and breathing it out into the world. And taking the last deep breath in, going to soul center, breathe into the peace, connecting with the love and the light, and owning the I am. And on the exhale, in your mind, say, I am, and allow it to flow through you out into the world. Now, as we take our normal breath, let's take a moment to affirm that God's work is done. And let us say the names out loud of any loved ones or individuals that we know that are searching for joy or happiness, health, that have asked for prayer requests, to speak their names out loud. And affirming, Divine Beloved, we are grateful for their healing. We are grateful for their restoration and their wholeness. In Divine Love, I am here to be in the silence, to listen to your divine voice telling me what is mine to do. I release any fear or temptation to argue or to negotiate or to make a plan of convenience. I trust in the voice within and know what my work is. I know that I am a channel of love and healing. I know that I am good and worthy, and that I have the choice to be on the right and perfect path. Knowing that you have cleared the path and paved the way for all my good and the good of all involved. And I am grateful. And so it is. Amen and amen. You know, there's that part about negotiating, right? You ever get that guidance and it's telling you to do something and you want to make a plan? Well, let me talk to you about it in March, right? Today's topic, Simply Amazing, is about the amazingness that we have in life and in every moment, day to day. That we have that when we let go of our fear, when we let go of what we have perceived as our limitations, when we let go of our brokenness. Because we have a tendency to sometimes see ourselves as broken, or that we need to be fixed or repaired. And what is that, the initials for Ford, fix or repair daily? Isn't that? That was something I was, when I was 10 years old that I heard. But a lot of times we're thinking, again, I need to fix this so that I can be this. And until I fix this and until this resolves itself, I can't really fully enjoy and embrace life. But here's the thing. Life is simply amazing. Just that you're breathing is simply amazing. You're here, you're alive, you're breathing, you are part of the energy of the world. And you are significant because you are that individual expression of God. So, I hope each of you are thinking in your head, yay me, that I have this wonderful expression there that I can share with the world, with love and with kindness and with compassion. And what's important to get to the amazingness is that we have to work through the lies. Now, we have a tendency to tell lies. Now, I'm not talking about just making up a story and saying I was robbed when we weren't, okay? Not that kind of lie am I talking about. I'm actually talking about when we're having our inner conversations and we might say, well, I can't do that right now, or I'm not ready, or it can be that it's going to be okay. So we all get that wonderful intuition, that spark about when something needs to change, when something needs to shift, when we need to move, but yet we will argue with it, that it's not the right time, not supposed to do it. And it's a lie that we're living, because our divinity is saying, you're not broken. You're not this person. But it might be saying you're not happy doing what you're doing. You're not happy continuing along this line. And then we say, well, I know I made that decision, and so I have to deal with what happens in this process. I have to deal with it. And so I'm on this flow of discomfort, dealing with this decision. Now, here's the thing, is if your intuition is saying, not a good decision, Sharon, that is not a good decision, but I keep saying, but I made that decision, and I have to work it out, but it's telling me not a good decision, I'm consciously making a choice. I'm making the choice to still be in a decision that is not good for me, or I can consciously choose to say, okay, I screwed up. Now the whole world has to know I screwed up. I'm going to change. I'm going to do something different in that, and allowing ourselves to do that. So when we allow ourselves to move with the truth, the divinity within is simply amazing. It's wonderful because we can start to see things in a new way, but we have to move through that fear, and we have to move through the comfort of, I know what it's like to be miserable, or I know what it's like to, and we don't say, I know what it's like to live in this lie, because it's your reality, right? So it's the truth. You're not lying. You know, I don't like this, but I have to be there. And so for you, it's not a lie, but from that wonderful higher consciousness, from your divine self, it's a lie because it's keeping us from moving forward to our unfoldment. We're holding back in that safety net. And I think we have a Charles quote, don't we, Rick? So today I picked Charles. The mind is the seat of perception of the things we see, hear, and feel. It is through the mind that we see the beauties of the earth and sky, or music, of art, in fact, of everything. That silent shuttle of thought working in and out through cell and nerve weaves into one harmonious whole the myriad moods of mind, and we call it life. I think that's a pretty powerful statement. But it's, again, what are we thinking? What are we choosing to think? And, you know, our consciousness feeds every cell of our being, and our cells feed our consciousness. So it's kind of like the chicken and the egg thing, right? Because if our cells are reacting to negativity and chaos, our consciousness is going to pick up on that. If our consciousness is focused on negativity and living the lie of our untrue divinity, our cells are going to pick that up, and what's that going to cause? It's going to cause illness in the body. It's going to cause hardship. So why do we have illness, and how can I make illness simply amazing? Well, first of all, if we're alive right now, we still have the opportunity for living. We still have the opportunity for healing. And sometimes it's not about fighting the illness, right? It's not about fighting it. It's about kind of just surrendering. That is what it is, but who am I? Who am I? And what is mine to do? And maybe all you can do is pick up a pencil. And that pencil then guides you to write something or to share your story. That maybe you just start this word vomit of your story. And doing that, you find your source of what that moment was that triggered you to hold on to all this garbage. And to know that is simply amazing. Because then we can say, okay, do I want to still have that, or do I want to let go of that? Do I want to forgive? What needs to happen? What needs to happen? Am I just holding on to the story to have the story? And, you know, because sometimes I go through these questions and I'm like, am I, you know, holding on the story just to have the story? And sometimes I get yes. And I'm like, am I stuck because I haven't forgiveness? And I'll get some yes. Am I too stubborn to let go? Yes, because you have to be right. You know, that God doesn't lie. You know, there's no lying in that. But when you have these moments, it's a beautiful process because you can come to terms with who you are. Amazing, wonderful, this wonderful expression of the divine. But it's learning to appreciate the moment. It's learning to be in the moment. So it's regardless of whatever is happening, how am I going to feed it? What am I going to do with it? But how can I be better because of the situation? What can I choose to do differently? And what is the easy we have to choose differently? Our thoughts and our actions, right? We have to choose and think differently. And sometimes that might be being very uncomfortable and vulnerable because we don't like to be vulnerable and we don't like to be wrong. We don't like to have to apologize because then it means we really screwed up. Well, I had to apologize this morning. I didn't even get to 10 o'clock and I had to apologize, you know, because I overreacted, I overstepped. However, the simply amazing thing is that I took a deep breath and I apologized. Doesn't mean that I was right in whatever I did or said. But we always have this opportunity from this second to this second to this second. We always have this opportunity of choice to be something different, to be something more, to be better, or to be stuck, and to carry that history with us. And it's all a choice. It's a conscious choice. But here's the thing. It's not about fixing everything in order to get right with God or to get spiritual. It's not about fixing it. It's not about getting it all lined up, in the check boxes. I meant, I don't know about you, but my check boxes have a tendency to move. I mean, it just depends on the moment of what's going on. But here's the thing, is that when we allow ourselves to choose what we are hearing within us, what our divine is guiding us to do, when we choose that, there's a freedom just in knowing that we're moving in that direction. It's like have you ever just made a decision, it was a hard decision, but the whole time you're knowing it's the right decision, but you're going to everybody else for advice, you're weighing it in, and you're struggling, but once you make the decision, what happens? I should have done that a long time ago, right? I should have done that a long time ago. So, but to me, that we're not in prison only to our illusions and our beliefs and the limitations. We're not. It is wonderful that how amazing it is in our life that from moment to moment we have choice. We have the opportunity to grow, to become more, to say, you know what, I made a decision, and at the time I thought it was good, but right now it doesn't feel very good. And sometimes just when we say that, there's a relief, and then we work at what are the steps that I need to do to change that? And then that can help to move us forward, but it's also being very present in life. So it's not just being in that place of okay, I'm struggling with a decision, God. Okay? What if we said, okay, God, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you, and I'm moving on. So here, God, it's yours. You'll tell me how to handle the situation with the bank. I've done what I can do. I'm handing it over to you. And in the meantime, go take a walk, or go to the yoga class, or cook your friends some spaghetti, whatever that might be. When we give it over and we allow ourselves to be in the moment, we're living in the present, and we're allowing that other energy to work itself out in the way that it should work. But it's appreciating the things that are now. It's appreciating the music and the art. I mean, some people meditate in the silence, but how many of you prefer to meditate with music? Right? Because there's this, I don't know, to me it's this, it's just the simply amazing thing. There's a connection in that. And they know that music raises the vibration, right? And so it's so when we bought our new car, we traded in the smart car. This car came with Sirius XM. Did I get it right, Rick? Yes. Rick has been so much more of a peaceful driver for two reasons. One is he's not in this little car worried about somebody running over him. Okay, that he's got a car that's big enough to see and to hold its own. But the other is he's got this Sirius XM, and he's got this wonderful music playing, and plus it's got seat warmers. Okay, but his mood in that driving has changed from my perspective. That he's a much happier driver, and not in that defensive place because of the music, and then a warm hiney, but because of that music. So music can help. So when we are having these moments of being stuck or being frustrated, we can play music. We can think about that, or we can have a song come up in our head. Any of you ever wake up in the middle of the night because a song's playing in your head? You don't know how it got there, and then it's going for 2 days. You're playing that song for 2 days. So music can help to bring us back to center, right? moving our body can help to bring us back. But let's say you're stuck in the bed, you can't, so music can help. You know, maybe a funny movie can help. Don't watch the news. That's not going to help you at all, because all you're going to be doing is yelling at people and throwing things at the TV screen. That's not going to help you. You know, it's like I can remember my father as he retired, and he'd watch Jerry Springer and be yelling at the TV, you know. But it's like, but it builds up this other energy. But there's so much to appreciate day to day in your life, like, you know, watching the birds, listening to the music, listening to the kids laugh, watching other people in the airport, making up their stories, right? These can be fun things that bring you to the present, that bring you into that moment of being in that presence, to live in that simply amazing space, in that simply amazing place of our life. So why aren't we there more? And, you know, some of you might go, I am. So, yay, you know. But some of us aren't. And sometimes it's we are and then we're not. We are and then we're not. I'm on the roller coaster, you know. My life is that roller coaster. But here's the thing, right? It's like, what a ride. But with each moment and wherever I was, on the top, on the dip, on the curve, going through the dark tunnel, whatever it was, upside down, I chose. It wasn't chosen for me. And we like to say, no, I didn't make the choice. So why not? You didn't make the choice. So to not make a choice is a choice. Sorry. And, you know, it's like, so we don't make the choice, and then it's usually a little bit harder. But here's the thing, is that regardless if we're choosing to be in, like, I don't know, the whirlwind of the drama and the chaos or whatever, or we're choosing to move through the fear and the unknown, we're still evolving. We're just evolving differently, right? One is just going to take us a little bit longer because we're in that. But it still doesn't mean that we're not growing. We're just taking the long road through that instead of going through the playground. We're going, you know, into those scary places. But we have a choice, and that's, to me, what's amazing. Our soul has the choice. What's amazing is our soul is already divine and perfect and whole, and we are wonderful. That is amazing. What's amazing to me is that we have that thing I call the ego, right? That is a good thing because it gives us our individuality. And that is amazing. So we are that wonderful individual expression of God, which you hear me talk about over and over because I want to make sure you get it, right? That you know that we are that individual expression of God. And what I love to bring up with that is who's growing too? God. Right? Because every time we have that new expression that we haven't done, God's getting that too, because God hasn't had that experience through us. So see, when we do this, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Shh. We're helping God grow. Oh my gosh, we're watering God. We're growing God. We're giving God these experiences because God has not had it through anybody else like us. So we could say same thing, different day, different person. Yeah. But it's not, because your mind is individual. You think different things. You carry different stories. You have different ideas. You have a different opportunity for opening, for expanding. So it's not just about us letting God speak through us, because now it's taking us in the right direction. But it's saying, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to expand. Or it might be in your head, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to go. I don't know. What it Well, it sounded like a little fairy when I said it earlier. So it's like, you know, because it was at a high pitch. But so to me, these things are simply amazing. That I am already perfect in my being. That I have the divine running through me 24/7, all of the time, but timeless, like it's into the future, it's into the past, it's always there. It's never without. It's like we don't sit here and we don't think, okay, is there enough oxygen in the room to breathe, right? Or I only get 15 breaths a day, right? There's a limit to how many breaths I can take. We don't think about that. And God's not limited to that either. That wonderful divinity within us is not limited to our breaths or to our thoughts or to our limitations, because that's still pushing us to become more so it can become more as well, with love and with compassion and knowing. So, and to me, it's simply amazing when I think about, so let's go to Revelations in the second coming. There'll be a new heaven and a new earth, right? The devil will be cast out. Okay, so I'm Sharonizing the Revelations, right? That is the awakening of the Christ consciousness in every single human being. It's that attainment of our divinity. And to know that that's all it takes to heal the world is simply amazing. That we're not, it's not on somebody's calendar. It's not something that is being wielded by a superhero about the right timing. It's our timing. We have the choice in our unfoldment. We have the choice in our awakening. We have the choice in the Christ rising through us, which is, to me, simply amazing. So take that moment and think about that you are this wonderful individual expression of God. And that everything you do opens God up for growth and unfoldment and pushes you into that. And everything that we do towards that is awakening and connecting with the Christ within. And seeing and knowing that the world is already in a perfect state. Seeing and knowing that we're all awake in the Christ and in the love. And that is taking place. Love is overruling that part of the ego that gets in the way, that the love is there, and it just washes over. Because that is who we are. And we are simply amazing. Thank you.